radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network.
All right. Good evening. How you doing? All right. Fade to Black. Yeah. Today's Tuesday. It's Thanksgiving week, November 25th, 2025. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. So let's do this, man. What a great week. It's Thanksgiving week. Oh, by the way, I meant to mention this last night. It just got away from me. Normally, and we've done this, I don't know for how many years in a row, 10 years, maybe more. We always had Linda Moulton Howe on the show for Thanksgiving. And she called me on Sunday to say that she couldn't do the show. And I said, "Oh, Linda, what's going on?" She goes, "I'm in the Bahamas." I said, "What?" "Yep, I'm out here with my family and it's just amazing." And there you go. So she's going to be doing that for a while. And when she gets back, we'll have her on Fade to Black. But she did specifically request that I say Happy Thanksgiving to the Fadernauts from Linda. So I am doing that right now. And for her to remember and to give me a call about that was just really, really cool. We were reaching out to her to do the show, and she wasn't getting back to us because she was in the Bahamas. And, we were dealing with other sources and landlines, to be specific. And so anyway, she ended up thinking about it, calling, and we had that whole conversation about how much fun she has had every Thanksgiving here on the show. And this year she couldn't do it, but she wanted to wish all of you happy Thanksgiving. So there you go. Happy Thanksgiving from Linda Moulton Howe. And there is a huge winter storm coming in this week. It is Thanksgiving. I will be spending my Thursday with friends. And very excited about that. But here's the deal. On this half of the country, on west of the Rockies, nice and warm. East of the Rockies, oh my. It is rolling through. There are parts of like where Jason is, Toronto, the upper parts of Michigan and the Canadian United States border up there, expecting up to 30 inches of snow. 30. Most of it is in the 10 to 15 inches of snow. And the freezing cold is rolling across the United States right now, just in time for all of the travel, all of the airports, all of this, and wow. So, but I'm riding my Harley to my friend's house. Yeah. I don't even want to mention that when the rest of the country and Canada is in the middle of a deep freeze, and I'm rolling around Southern California in a t-shirt on a Harley. Right. I'm not doing that. This week on Fade to Black. Last night, also from Toronto, Holly Hall was here with us. That was an amazing show last night. She is incredibly gifted and talented. Talked about astrology and did some predictions, and she did a reading for me last night. It was pretty incredible. Tonight, the one and only Jason Quitt is back for Quittspiracy 14. Or is it? I think that's what we discussed last time about Quittspiracy 13. So it's stuck in my head. I didn't actually officially go back and check. I will divert this to Bill Bill and John and Jessica. Is this 14? Is this Quittspiracy 14? All right. So, and then tomorrow night, Stephen Bassett is here. We're going to be talking about this new film that was released. It's a documentary. It's a few years old, but it was just released. The Age of Disclosure. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. Thursday, of course, we are off air because it is Thanksgiving. My next event coming up is the Conscious Life Expo, February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton. And there you go. So Jason Quitt is our guest tonight. It is Quittspiracy 14. And I'll let everybody know this is the deal. Well, we know that he's a great author. I've got all of his books, Gates of the Anunnaki, Sacred Geometry, Keys to the Gods, Astral Genesis, Astrological Keys to the Gods, Egyptian Postures of Power, Mysticism Movements. Yeah. Oh man, I did the orange dance. Is that what it's called? Yeah. I'm so embarrassed. I want to welcome back to Fade to Black, the one and only Jason Quitt. He's right there.
Cheers.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's discuss what you just did. Okay. So everybody, we're going to go through a bunch of conspiracies tonight, and you will rate them. 1 pipe, 2 pipes, 3 pipes, 4. We should do a nursery rhyme with that. 1 pipe, 2 pipe, 3 pipes, 4 for the kids, Jason. We do it for the kids.
Yes.
And so Jason, hold up your pipe. This is Jason's pipe. Look at that thing, man. Is it functional?
Yeah, of course it's functional. It's just I can't get it into frame because it's just I need to cut this in half or something.
Hold up that skull. Is that an Oralite skull?
Yes. This is a Oralite 23 skull.
Wow. Okay, and so the pipe goes in the bottom of it, and then the bowl is in the bottom of the. Look at that.
Yeah.
Do you have a lighter in your hand?
You can see me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's smoking. I don't know if you can see it with the camera. It works.
I've lost control of the show.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a first. I'll say that. It's a first. I've got my Oralite on for you.
Beautiful.
And this Oralite crystal, let me see. I don't know if it's really big. Let's see. Will this show up better? I don't know. Okay, it's big, right? It's a big crystal. And this Oralite 23, right? I stole from Jason. And this is my memory of, and then we're going to get into the show. We've got a lot to cover. This is my memory of this crystal. We were up in somewhere on the West Coast. I think we were in Portland, if my memory's right.
Yeah,
we're in Portland on a road trip. We were on a road trip. And we've got everybody there, all of our friends. And I turned to Jason, and he's wearing this. So proud. It's his personal Oralite piece. And I walked up, and I went, man, that is amazing. Boop. And then I guess technically you gifted this to me and said, okay, church, you can keep it. Right? And it's one of my prized possessions, man. It is absolutely beautiful. I wear it all the time. It's powerful, and I'm wearing this tonight for you. There you go. So
and just some connection lore here. I just realized I think the same guy that cut this and made this pipe also is the guy who made that necklace.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It's a piece of art, and I absolutely love. Plus, you know what? It's blingy. It's big. It's big.
It's
It's a statement. It's a statement, and it's powerful, and I love it. It's one of my prized possessions, and I really did intend to steal it. I wasn't going to give it back. You said, Jimmy, I'm gifting it to you. It's yours. But dude, you weren't getting it back.
I knew, like, right when I saw you look at it, I'm like, it's Jimmy's,
Yeah, man. It was just, and if you were wearing it, this was your personal piece. It's like that. It was really tasty. And
well, there's only one like that, so
yeah, man, I love it. I absolutely love it.
And
you can visit.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
you can
so that's
visit
what it was.
Jason's website for all of the latest Auralite, the Crystal Sun, and we have the links for that below. Auralite. Oh, and the new book. So there it is, Auralite 23. Do I have a copy of that yet?
I just got this copy yesterday, but
okay, no, I don't have it yet. Okay,
no, but it's just like a guide of showing.
Are you writing to Jimmy in it right now?
Yes, but you can see it's beautiful, full color. It's like every page has a crystal in it.
Wow, very cool, very cool. And the book is on the website?
The book is on Amazon.
Okay,
Amazon.com. Yeah.
Okay, all right. There's no access to the book on your website?
Not yet, because I just have this one copy. It was a test print. But that's how new it is.
Okay, there's this thing called the internet.
Yes.
The interweb. It's going to be huge. And so what you can do, Jason, just listen to me. I know it's confusing, but you can do this. It's called a hyperlink. And so you can have the actual link to Amazon on your website. You can do that. And then people see that and they can click on it on your web. They don't have to go to Amazon. You can do it from your website. It's amazing technology. It's amazing.
I've never heard of that.
I know. So just write that down. Write that down. Watch this show again.
I need instruction. I need guidance.
Yeah. This is what I don't remember how we started Quittspiracy. That part that's for history to figure out. But I don't remember how it happened. But what is fascinating about our journey with Quittspiracy over the years is today you can watch the mainstream media and hear them say things like, well, there's a new conspiracy theory and it's actually true, right? And you hear these comments in the mainstream media about conspiracies that people thought were crazy talk that are, in other words, conspiracy theory is not for the tinfoil hat crowd anymore. It's the rest of the world is on board with it. Are you okay with that? This is our private little thing that we do, right? you know what I mean? And to have it be so mainstream feels a little violating to me. Are you okay with the rest of the world being on board with conspiracies?
Well, I used to spout a lot of conspiracies in my early 20s at the end of high school to my friends, and I'd always be that guy. You know what I mean? I would always say, there was a line that I used to get made fun of because people would talk to me. I'm like, dude, you don't even know. I would say that always. And it's because there's so many conspiracies. And the problem that I find today, sitting here with you, you say, let's do Quittspiracy 14. I'm like, but they've all come true. What are we going to talk about? Like, if you 10 years ago, we talked about it, it's like, oh, we could talk about all these crazy things. But now it's like, if I say, something about globalism or, secret societies, or it's like, well, yeah, we've seen that movie. Like, what are you talking about? We all know these things. But when I was in high school and I was like, have you seen like Alex Jones go to Bohemian Grove? People are like, what are you talking about? Who is this guy?
Those Bohemian Grove videos scared the shit out of me because that was just supposed to stay a conspiracy theory. That was supposed to say, what if, and let it lay out there on the other side of the hill, right? On the horizon. We don't need that confirmed. And when those videos came, the owl, right? Ooh, right? I was, oh my God.
Who is the voice? That's another conspiracy. The voice of the owl, famous newscaster, Cronkite.
Oh, was it Cronkite?
Yeah,
I thought it was James Earl Jones.
No, I think it's Walter Cronkite.
Man, we should do a whole show on that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Is it really Walter Cronkite? So
I will look it up, but I think it's one of those guys.
We have assembled tonight, everybody, a pretty cool list of conspiracies where I think they are fun. I think they are interesting. Some you may have heard of, some maybe not. You're going to rate each one pipe to 4 pipes. 1 pipe being, it's bullshit. 4 pipes, 100% true. Okay, so there you go. 1 pipe to 4 pipes. And the list that we have put together, we have done so many shows and so many conspiracies. I have forgotten probably most of the things that we have covered, but I wanted to make sure that it was fun, it was interesting, but also I wanted my part of the list, and yours is the same, where I wanted people to go, what? I want our audience to go, what? Because if you get our audience to go, what? We've hit it, right? Because this audience has heard and seen everything when it comes to this stuff. So I think we got a pretty fun list. Now, also, I'm going to start with you because it's Thanksgiving week. Do you guys celebrate? Pat Breeze wants to know if you have a maple leaf and rush tattoo.
I can't give that out.
He said it's on your back. It's a tramp stamp. You have a tramp stamp.
All I can say is, if somebody asks you, like a fellow Canadian asks you, who's the best bass player? If you do not answer Geddy Lee.
Well, see, but what's the other answer? Nobody knows the name of the bass player from Triumph. They'll go, well, Geddy Lee, or that guy in Triumph is pretty good. Right? So what do what's the bass player for Justin Bieber is pretty good, man. He's pretty good.
It's called Ableton.
The bass player for Nickelback, he's solid. Right? No, it's Geddy Lee. I mean, what are the choices? What are the choices there? Why? And that's Rush is so big. Rush is a brand like Ferrari is a brand, right? Ferrari is to Italy as Rush is to Canada. I don't know if Canada's got a bigger export than Rush. It ain't maple syrup. Don't say it, right? What's a bigger commodity in Canada than Rush?
Celine Dion, come on.
What? Who?
That was a terrible joke, but anyway.
No, it was actually perfect.
Yeah.
That's how Celine Dion is huge.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing compared to Rush. No, and Celine would say that too as well. She would definitely back off and go, no, Rush, no, it's all right. I need to back up off of that. But
they even have a beer. They have a beer, a Rush beer in Canada.
Getty could be prime minister.
You should.
He could run. Alex Lifeson could run. Getty's base tech could run for prime minister and probably get it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that is so true about Rush. I almost wore a Rush t-shirt, but I stayed with the Oralite 23, but the Rush and the Oralite would have been too much. It would have been too fanboyish. But I think we got a pretty good collection, which goes back to my point. Do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving?
Yes, but it's in October for some reason.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Do you celebrate it for the same reasons? Did you guys make peace with the indigenous cultures, and the indigenous cultures kept you alive through winter with corn?
No, I have no idea. I'm gonna have to look into this because I know we celebrate it, but it's weird because it has to do with, I guess, the fall harvest. For us, it falls in October, so we have it in October. I think I might be confused again, Jimmy.
Somebody says it's called First People's Day.
Oh, I don't know. See, this is the problem with being Canadian, and it shows that we know more about the U.S. than Canada. And it's like, you have the American dream. You know what the Canadian dream is?
To be an American?
That's right.
Is
Be
it
successful enough
probably
to be an American.
I saw a really, really funny comedy bit about that the other day. Somebody leaving Canada, a celebrity, leaving Canada to move to the United States, and the Canadian Customs said, "You can't come back." Right? You can't come back. Would you go? What do you mean? No. Canadians that leave, famous Canadians that leave Canada, cannot come back. It was this whole bit at Customs going back and forth about that. And she came to the United States, by the way. It was hilarious. It was a really hilarious bit. But okay, so it's Thanksgiving this week.
Yes.
So we're going to start off with you, and I'll do the intro as a question.
Sure.
Here's the conspiracy theory. Now, listen, everybody, don't do your pipe rating. Don't display your pipe until we're done. Okay? All right? Promise me? Okay, good. All right. Was the Thanksgiving story a psyop? It's like heresy just to say it out loud, isn't it?
It's tough, right? So it was the story of Thanksgiving, like the one we all know about, the Pilgrims and the colony celebrating the first corn harvest in 1621. Like, did that event happen? All right. Or on the other hand, which is the conspiracy part, was the story completely fabricated by an American author named Sarah Hale in the 1820s to 1830s? And the reason that they fabricated this story is to help bring American unity during a time of civil unrest. They got into the Civil War after that. And she was also the author that brought us a very famous book or poem called Mary Had a Little Lamb. If you remember. Yes.
Yes. Oh, this is getting good. Okay, this is getting tasty. It's got tasty real quick.
So, what did it happen? Or do you think that it was a complete fabrication from an American author? And
an American author with an amazing imagination.
Yes. So I would just say let's do the pipe rating now, and then I'll get into it because and don't look this up.
Okay, I won't.
Because this is a fun one. It's really fun.
Oh man, it's my favorite holiday. It's my favorite holiday. And for me, it's nearly a four-way tie: Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, and New Year's, right? And my birthday is right there. So those four, that's a tough choice for everybody to make. I gotta say, man, Thanksgiving is it depends on what holiday. If it's Halloween tends to be my favorite. But it's Thanksgiving. But I love Thanksgiving. And to think that it is something that we were sold like Valentine's Day, right? Ooh, okay. Was Thanksgiving a psyops? I'm going to ride in the middle on this one. I got to play it safe. I got to hear it out. Can I change my vote?
Of course you can. Of course.
I can change my vote. Okay, yeah. I'm going to err on the side of my emotions. I'm going to go two pipes. It's probably not a psyop. Yeah. But it could be.
And I'm going to go two pipes as well. And I'll give you the answer just so everybody knows and they can be thankful for this answer, because it did actually happen. All right. So there is actual evidence of a letter being written by the name of Edward Winslow in 1621 that describes that day which was the autumn corn harvest.
Mhm.
And it was a multi-day feast with the natives to celebrate. So it is a true historical event that happened, but nobody talked about it for 200 years. All right. It wasn't until Sarah Hale decided that she wanted Thanksgiving to become a national holiday. So what she did was she promoted the idea of Thanksgiving. Now, what we know is like turkey and pumpkin pie, cranberry sauce. That was not part of the meal of the original Thanksgiving.
I changed my vote to 4 pipes. I changed it to 4 pipes. I changed it to 4 pipes. No way. Really? So these are the facts. It wasn't talked about for 200 years until she actively started promoting it. And then the whole turkey stuffing, cranberry sauce,
she actually wrote the
casserole, right?
She wrote the menu in a magazine.
Get out.
Or in a newspaper. Yeah, she wrote those articles, and she was trying to promote family unity and to bring the South and the North together. And actually what happened was during the Civil War in 1863, she convinced Abraham Lincoln to proclaim Thanksgiving a national holiday.
Get out. 4 pipes. 4 pipes.
Is that crazy?
Crap. No, I did not know. I did not know.
So even though
sold it, this is propaganda.
Yes, and it was propaganda to help bring both sides of the Civil War together in peace, just like the Pilgrims and the natives.
That's all good. That's all good. I like that part of the story. 4 pipes. I'm going 4 pipes. So yeah, 200 years went by. Nobody gave a crap.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a tradition. People did the harvest corn, autumn harvest in the East Coast. So this was like a tradition that was passed down in the East Coast.
But they do that in every country. They've done that for thousands of years. They celebrate every harvest because they get to live for another year, right?
Yes.
So I get that. You know, it's harvest time. We're going to party, whether it's Egypt, Mesopotamia, Great Britain. You know, harvest time in northern Germany. That was a big deal because they had crap weather.
Yeah. So
that was a bad joke. That was a bad joke.
The day, it's the last Thursday of November, that was chosen by Abraham Lincoln to make that a national holiday.
4 pipes.
Yeah.
4 solid pipes. Wow. 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 What a great way to start the show.
I don't know how many people knew that.
Nobody knew that.
But
I've never heard that. Now the Thanksgiving haters are the conspiracy theorists. Oh, that's funny.
But like the original story did happen, just not in the way that it was presented 200 years later. Yeah, that's just it.
All right, chat room, have at it. 1 pipe, 2 pipe, 3 pipes, 4. Was the Thanksgiving story a psyop? Let's see your votes. Let's see those come in. Wow.
We learned something, right? We
learned. Wow. Okay, so I can tell you this. I'm going to tell this story at Thanksgiving dinner this Thursday. All right. Let's see. What do I have? Where am I going to start here? I'm going to start here. You ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, do you have my list?
I'm going to pull it up right now.
You pull it up and I'll tell you what number, and then you can announce it. Okay, we'll do it that way. Okay. I'm going to do numbers. I'm going to do number 7.
Ooh. Okay. This is okay. Is King Charles a vampire?
Is King Charles a vampire? Now, here there is, again, I could almost do the reveal, and then, because it's the reptilian side of this, this conspiracy theory that most people will talk, but King Charles being a vampire is not talked about. All right, but let me tell you where the origins of this go. it started decades ago when he was Prince Charles. Okay. Why? For a few different reasons. One, he is a direct descendant of Vlad the Impaler. Right? So right there, the OG Dracula, the original gangster Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, who not only was insane, he was a pretty good military leader too, because of the way he did things. But he surrounded his home and his castle. He was called Vlad the Impaler, Jason. I don't know if you know this. He would impale the bodies of his enemies, impale on a stake up the butt, right, through the torso, and would have thousands of them in a line on his property to show everybody what would happen if he messed with him. And they would just stay up there and rot. Now, just imagine for a second, you're going through the forest in Romania, right? And you come out of a clearing and you see that in the mist. You know, whoa. That's surreal to me. That's like a crazy Hollywood movie, but this really happened. So King Charles is a direct descendant of Vlad the Impaler, the original Dracula. But this is where the story gets crazier. Many of the royals in Charles' bloodline in Great Britain right now have the disease porphyria. And porphyria is a disease where you have an iron deficiency in your blood and in your body that causes you to be insanely sensitive to sunlight. All right. So they slept all day. They stayed awake at night because they couldn't live any other way. That's right. They slept all day in the dark. It's still sleep all day in the dark because of this disease. So when you combine all of this together, the conspiracy arises, right? Is King Charles a vampire? Now, I would say, but we can, I want your opinion, and then let's do our vote. But I would say that is, based on the preponderance of the evidence, that's a pretty strong case.
Yes. I would say, like, what is the definition of a vampire? And, from the Hollywood perspective is you got the two fangs that are, sucking people's blood. But when you go to the actual history, like you were presenting, where you have Vlad, the impaler, who's very feared, who has this disease that needs to be up all night and be in the shadows during the day, it creates this kind of myth about these families. And I know that the bloodlines of these families are extremely important, and they would often marry within the families. So a lot of these traits would actually be amplified. So you would have more genetic problems by interbreeding with your own family. And I know that in modern times now, they actually look out to the public.
Did you say interbreeding with your own family? Did you say that out loud?
Well, that is the reality of these ancient lines of kings and queens, unfortunately. And this is why they would have to kind of be married out to other kings and kingdoms, just so to keep the bloodline pure enough so that it can survive.
Germany, France, right? Whatever. Come on in. You're on an island, and then you shrink that down into the monarchy and these royal families and these lords, and everybody is sleeping with brothers and sisters and cousins. And when you see, I was just trying to think of this movie. What was it? It doesn't matter. But when you see the Count of whatever, Liechtenstein, and you're like, your parents were related, you know, and I think about that a lot. But yeah, I think that's a really good point.
And also, where do you get this term blue blood? It's like, you have supposed to have red blood coursing through your veins. Like it just shows that there is this kind of genetic separation. So his line could be very, very odd. So as like, I wouldn't go like the full, like Hollywood, like they grow fangs and drink blood, but in the definition of the mythical stance, I would definitely say that it fits into those characteristics as well. I'll say
there was okay, before we get to the vote here, I read another thing. This was, I love reading history and stuff. And so I was reading about Elizabeth I and that period of English history. I didn't know this. Did you know that there was a rumor that started back then, and it's never been proven one way or the other? Queen Elizabeth I was a dude. Have you heard that?
I have heard that conspiracy.
Yeah, because she died. There was no heir to the throne. And so she died, was replaced by a little boy who grew up. But the side of this whole conspiracy theory is she never got married. She never had kids because she was a dude. Right. And there's a lot to this story. It's not just like some frivolous thing. Like, no, there is a lot of evidence that suggests Queen Elizabeth I was a dude. Wow. Okay. So back to King Charles is a vampire. What's your vote? 1 pipe, 2 pipes, 3 pipes, 4.
I would say that genetically he is probably 2.5 pipes.
2.5 pipes. I'm going 3 pipes. I'm going 3 pipes on that one too as well. Yeah. I'm not fully engaged on 4, but he's pasty. He's got the Bela Lugosi vampire ears. He's got fangs.
He also has they don't really know what he has exactly, but if you've seen pictures of him, his hands are all blown up. Like this, he retains a lot of fluids in his hands. Have you ever seen his fingers in his hands?
No. That's part of the conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
They're hiding it.
Yeah, so I don't know the exact diagnosis of that, but it is a strange physical trait that he has.
I'm going 3 pipes, and that seems to be the consensus here also with the chat room. 3 pipes. Oh, Bill goes 1 pipe. You know why? You know why Bill has to go 1 pipe?
Because he's really...
He's 4 pipes on reptilian with King Charles. So he's not gonna tap out on that. I do want to mention really quick, our good friend Clyde Lewis is in the hospital. He's been there for a couple of days, and so to you Fadernauts and everything else, I would love to see the chat room light up and just say, sending energy to Clyde. I spoke with his team today. I've reached out to Clyde. He's in a serious situation right now. I think that he's going to pull through, but he definitely needs all of the energy sent his way. Okay, and I would never say that unless that's where we are at. Okay, so, and it's Thanksgiving and everything else, and he's got to spend Thanksgiving away from his son and wife and spend it in the hospital. So I do have friends, and his team will be visiting with him tomorrow, and I will get a further update. Okay, moving on. Your choice. Okay, give me the number.
Thank you. For me?
Yeah.
I'll go in order too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, this is strong. Okay, this is strong. Okay. It is the tree, Tree, not three, the tree conspiracy of Göbekli Tepe. And this is strong. This is strong. There is, how do I say this? There is so much mystery behind Göbekli Tepe, all of it being deliberately buried and deliberately hidden is a big part of it. And then you have the tree conspiracy with Göbekli Tepe, and it leans into all of this. So what is the tree conspiracy of Göbekli Tepe, Jason?
Well, if you look at the site, there are about 800 trees planted on the site of Göbekli Tepe. And it's been there since 2004, 2005. So for about 20 years, there is olive trees growing directly on top of the site. And the conspiracy is, were these plants deliberately planted on the site to prevent people from digging up what's underneath them? Or do they know that the roots are going to slowly destroy the site? You know, so is there a conspiracy that they are deliberately damaging and hiding the archaeological site, whatever is underneath there, from being unearthed? So that's a conspiracy. And we can ask, how many pipes do you think that's true or not?
This is one of those things where you hear about it, but you don't want it to be true, because if it is true, then conspiracies are real. And then you start to jump down that rabbit hole and wonder what kind of evil is behind this, and you know, who would deliberately do something like that, something that could alter the course of history and humankind, and then to turn around and potentially damage it, disturb it, or hide it. That's just wrong on so many levels. And which takes us to the direct definition of conspiracy, which is, a conspiracy is two or more people working together, conspiring to commit a crime and break the law. That's the definition of conspiracy. Today, pop culture has turned conspiracy into, what kind of crazy shit do you want to talk about? And let's make it a conspiracy. But by definition, that's what a conspiracy is: two or more people conspiring and working together to break the law. And in this case, I'm going 4 pipes. 4 pipes. It is the pure definition of what a conspiracy actually is. You know what the site represents. You know what it is. You know how much is there. And now you want to go into the definition of a cover-up. This is a cover-up where you're covering it up with the roots of trees. And tree roots eat through anything, crush anything. Plant a tree in your front yard and watch your sewage pipe from your house to the street. Watch how long that lasts before it gets overrun with roots and you have raw sewage in your living room. That's what trees do, right? They crack and break through everything, tree roots, over time. I'm going 4 pipes on that, Jason. I'm going 4 pipes.
All right, so I'll give more context to the situation. Okay, so basically,
are they olive trees? Were they planted by a farmer?
Yes, they're olive trees, and they were planted by the original landowners of the site.
Okay.
But they weren't planted until 2004 and 2005.
Right, which is 10 years after it was discovered, and they already knew what was going on. As a matter of fact, those owners of the site are the ones that contacted the university in Istanbul, who turned around and reached out to Berlin, and Klaus Schmidt came in and did their thing. So they clearly knew what was going on there. Now, now I know the section of the site that you're talking about. It's a perfect square of trees.
Yeah, it's on the opposite hillside, and there's also another area where there's trees lined. This story doesn't make a lot of sense. It's very strange. And, who decides to just plant 800 olive trees on like the most famous site of human history?
Earth. Yeah, right.
But here's the weird part about this, because you have it's privately owned property by this family who's been there for generations. And originally, I think they were wheat farmers. They had wheat growing there. But they knew that the government was going to seize the land. All right. So let me just go to the mind of the farmers, that the government is going to seize the land. They're already in discussion, and they're trying to calculate the value of this land, of this site, to compensate this family to make it public land of Turkey. All right. So to calculate the monetary value of this site, in the laws and how they calculate it is it's more money if the land is farmland. And the most expensive plants you can plant are olive trees. So if you have olive trees on your land, the price of your land is going to skyrocket. So you get more money from the government. So the family has come forward to say that was their plan, is to try to get as much money as possible out of the government, because they knew they were going to seize the land.
Five pipes. I'm going 5 pipes.
So that's, and what's really interesting as well is that there is a law in Turkey that says you're not allowed to cut down olive trees once they're planted. It's called the 1939 olive tree law.
6 pipes.
All right. So you have all these weird things happening. So they plant the trees, and right after, the government takes it over. Now, from, previous landowners making money, okay, smart decision on their part. But the craziest part about this story is that when the archaeologists are asked about these trees, at first they say it's great. The olive trees are fantastic. Their roots are protecting the site from erosion. All right. And that at the time, the roots weren't going that deep. But now, 20 years later, those roots are going deep, and they are about to damage all the site. So here's the crazy thing about this, is that the archaeologists, the Ministry of Turkey, all these people that work at this site have never opened their mouth about this problem.
No,
it's like
why
it
would
never
they?
existed.
Yeah, why would they? Yeah, this is 7 pipes. I'm going 7. Well, if you think about everything that you just said, first and foremost, why the bleep are you planting trees on that site? Just right there. Just fundamentally, you start there. You wouldn't, and you shouldn't ever even think about doing that. But you do think about it, and then you take the next step and you go into action and you actually plant trees at Göbekli Tepe. But then when you go through the other levels of this and you peel back those layers, once you plant an olive tree, you can't cut it down, right? And these laws that are, what is that? That is blocking any potential archaeological digging and research underneath where those trees are sitting. So that's a really big deal. Why would you do? You wouldn't, unless you're trying to hide something and you're trying to stop something.
Yes, and this is the problem, because you know what it took for them to remove the trees? It took influencers on YouTube, like a guy, Jimmy Corsetti. He was very vocal about this issue, and they were writing news articles about it because they were making noise on YouTube and things were going viral. So just this year, the ministry stepped in and said, okay, we're removing the trees and we're putting them on another site that doesn't have any artifacts. But it literally took YouTubers to point this out, not the archaeological community, not the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, nobody. But they got embarrassed because it's so obvious that there's something wrong here.
Man, go Beckley Tepe, man. Go Beckley Tepe. I have centered so much of my path and my journey around Göbekli Tepe and its importance. Not only it just can't be measured, and it's being talked about, but it's not being talked about. You know, when people ask, and they do this all the time to this day, Jason. So what's Jimmy saying at the end of the show? What's Jimmy saying at the end of the commercials? Why does Jimmy sign off with Coast to Coast with this thing? What is it? I have done that during, before, and after everything that I do in the media. I mention it. Why? Because I want people to go, what's he saying? Let me go, so they can go and check out and then find out what I'm talking about. It's been so important and special to me. It's incredible. It should be on the cover of every magazine. It should be mentioned in the media all the time. Just like King Tut's tomb and that discovery and what those artifacts mean to us, that was significant. Or the Rosetta Stone. These are significant things. The Great Pyramid. Göbekli Tepe is as important or more important than all of that. And to mess with it at any level like that is just, it's nauseating.
And
it's nauseating.
Do you know the statistic on how much has been excavated at the site so far in 30 years? It's been 30 years.
5%.
I think it's less than 10%.
Yeah, it's 5%.
Yeah.
5%. And they know the potential of the site. They don't know what's there exactly. They haven't done it. They've done some ground penetrating radar and they've done some guesstimates and things. The site is ginormous. 5% has Turkey doesn't have a whole lot of resources, which goes back to my other point with this. It took Klaus Schmidt from Germany to come in. Every university should be throwing money at Göbekli Tepe. Every university in the world, everyone, they've all got their archaeological teams. They're all training and teaching future archaeologists. They go out on field expeditions. They fund these things. And unfortunately, Jason, we live in a world where if it's not in Egypt, it doesn't get interest. You know, and that's sad, isn't it? It's sad. The same problems are in Bolivia. Bolivia doesn't have any money. You go to Pumapunku, and nobody is there.
Yeah,
nobody's there. You just walk in. They have one person at the front gate. I'm not going to say anything bad. They're lovely people, but it's a ginormous site. There's one person at the gate. He kind of waves people in, or she doesn't really. Anyway, you walk around Pumapunku and rocks, blocks, carvings are sitting where they have been sitting for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and you trip over them. There's nobody there digging it up and studying it and looking at it and sending it back for, testing and research. And no, there's nothing going on there. All the archaeological digs that were done there were done just decades ago. And you walk in there and you see where they stopped. You can go into pits. You can see pits that are dug that are full of just huge multi-ton stone that are stuck in the dirt at an angle that are picking. You can walk down a path of Pumapunku, and I'm sure it's the same at Göbekli Tepe. You can walk down a path and step on something and look down. I'm not joking. Anywhere you look down and you'll see the corner of a rock, of a stone sticking up, right? Like this much of it. You could see it. And then you're like, what is that? Why isn't somebody digging right here? Yeah. What is it that I'm walking over? It could be the craziest thing in the history of mankind. and we'll never know because Bolivia doesn't have the money. Peru doesn't have the money. And it's the same problem with Göbekli Tepe. You know, there's some work being done there, but not what needs to be done there.
And
All right.
And there's multiple sites in Turkey. It's not just Göbekli Tepe.
That's right. Karahan Tepe.
I think there's about like 5 to 10 sites of a similar nature. And it's just sitting in fields doing nothing. Nobody's there.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have fun. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna do number 6.
Okay. Oh, okay. Has the Earth been sucked into a black hole when they discovered the Higgs boson in 2012?
And this is what's crazy about this conspiracy theory. When you go on the internet and you look into this, there is a ton of information and speculation behind this conspiracy theory. So the conspiracy theory goes, when CERN discovered the Higgs boson back in 2012, they accidentally created a black hole and the Earth was sucked into it. And the world ended in 2012, but we don't know it. Right?
I've been paying my taxes
all
these years.
We got sucked into a black hole, man. And it happened so fast that our version of us ended in 2012. It happened though, you know.
So what are we now? Like, what is this life we're living now? Is this kind of like?
Okay, so there's a few different versions of this. One of them is that a black hole, when you pass through it, now creates a wormhole on the backside that connects somewhere else in the universe. And that's what happened. That's potentially what happened to us. We multiversed this thing and went somewhere else. Okay. The other part of it is, yes, we did do that. We got spaghettified, but information was reassembled on the other side and reassembled us. All of these, and there's more, and I'll get into this in just a second. All of this happened so fast that you don't know it. And so when you look at the real side of what CERN is, and you start to contemplate the possibilities, where you have, you know, a 27-kilometer ring where you've got particles that are being accelerated to 99.999999, it's 8 nines % of the speed of light, right? That's crazy. When those particles are traveling at that speed, 99.9999999% of the speed of light, reality shrinks. Mass shrinks. So that 27-kilometer ring, are you ready? To those particles is 4 inches. Okay? Now, that's what we are doing at CERN. And if anything happened like that, we would never know it. No. We would never know it. Everything would cease to exist in an absolute instant. You wouldn't know. It would happen that fast. You wouldn't feel it. You wouldn't see it. You know, you wouldn't see a bright explosion. No, you wouldn't see anything. It would happen that fast. So if it did happen, what happens to Earth after that? If we didn't know it, see, that's the best part of this conspiracy and this idea. There's no way to disprove it.
It's kind of like a mirror universe or like a Bardo state where we continue living on.
You wouldn't know. There's no way to disprove it. Yeah.
It is inherently dangerous, like to collide particles. Like, think of what happened when we split the atom, the energy that was released. You know, we're experimenting with, like you say, Higgs bosons. We're talking about like the fabric of reality itself.
Yep. And it's just an experiment. you don't know the result. You don't know what's going to happen. When they first split the atom, that first atom bomb test, and people don't forget this, there was a big chunk of the scientific community that thought we were going to ignite the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right? That was it. Many were expecting to die that day, that the earth we would burn up the atmosphere and life would be over. And that's an experiment. And that's what we're doing at CERN. We're just doing shit. We're blowing shit up. Just see what happens.
What was that thing? It was Operation Fishbowl. I think that's what it was called. Where they were exploding massive nuclear weapons in the atmosphere. I mean, we're playing with some very dangerous things. I'm thinking like, they're spinning these particles around at light speed. Who's living in the 27-kilometer radius or 27-mile radius? Who's living there? Because you may be like portaled out to some other universe.
I don't know. And they're building a bigger one on the outside of that one, right? And that's, I don't know, if you're a realtor, how do you sell that house? So what are my neighbors doing over there? Well, that's CERN. Yeah. What? No, man, we're going to stay on this side. How far away can we live from here? How far can we go? That's crazy.
And it's just and the point is what? Like, what is the end game here? Is just to understand physics at a higher level, to prove physical understanding of these particles and how they act or scatter.
Well, like the God particle, the Higgs boson, and that discovery, that was laid out there decades ago. The theory behind the Higgs boson, and the fact that they were able to create the Higgs boson and observe it, they did that by colliding. It's a particle accelerator and collider. And they were able to do that. Well, that's the other part where physicists will tell you, you can't learn you can't discover new things unless you go out and just do stuff. And that's what they're doing. They're colliding this stuff at the speed of light, and they're creating new particles, and they're seeing things that, and observing and measuring, obviously imagery and everything else that is happening at the speed of light, and they're able to measure this stuff. All right, I get all of that. But what if you rip a hole in the fabric between realities, and we are bringing in shape-shifting shadow spirits from another dimension that just don't give a crap about us?
I would give that 4 pipes.
Right.
Yeah, I would give that 4 pipes.
Oh man. All right. So Earth was sucked into a black hole by CERN. 1 pipe, 2 pipes, 3 pipes, 4.
I would give it a low, maybe 1-2 pipes. But creating black holes to invite entities and other things from other realities into this world, I 100% 4 pipes on that.
I'm with you on that. I'm going 2 pipes and 4 pipes. And we have the if CERN created a black hole and we vaporized into it, I saw a documentary last month about this very idea. A real documentary. This is on Nova or something, right? It was on PBS, so it has to be true. And they mentioned, and they did a whole animation, if CERN did create a black hole and it started eating stuff in the area, how big would it be and what would the damage be? And it was left to the size of CERN itself, which is 27 kilometers, 10 miles, 12 miles, whatever that is, in diameter. It would stay concentrated there, but that the black hole would eat CERN, right, and vaporize everything that is there, but it would also disappear within like a millionth of a second, right? It would create and then go away. But CERN itself would be a pit straight to hell, a pit to the gates of Hades. Yeah.
Sounds like a very advanced weapon is what they're trying to create.
But they talk about this stuff all the time. I had a physicist on from CERN at CERN. He was at CERN, right? And one of the media rooms there. Great interview. I'm going to have him back on the show. It was just amazing. And I asked him about this. I think he was being honest. I said, have you guys created black holes? He said, no, we have not. We hear the same rumors that you do. And this comes right off of me. I didn't want to contest him on this, but I just watched a documentary about creating black holes at CERN, right? With a bunch of their physicists and how they do it, and they're accidental and they're microscopic, and they're made and they collapse immediately. But they've done it, and they've done it a lot, and none of it is intentional. So there you go. I'm going 2 pipes and 4 pipes. I'm with you on that. All right, your turn. Oh, wait a minute. Let's take a break. Tonight it is it officially Quittspiracy 14, by the way?
I would suggest yes, and we'll just go from there.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Bill ever confirmed that. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Jason, you stay right there. We'll be right back after this short break. It is Quittspiracy 14. 1 pipe, 2 pipes, 3 pipes, 4. I'll be right back.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get your alerts and access to over 2,000 videos. Click that subscribe button right now. Go to MeChurchRadio.com and get the Fade to Black official podcast. 2,000 episodes, all of them commercial free for just $2 a month.
I am hosting, speaking, and presenting once again for the Conscious Life Expo, the largest conference of its type in the world. February 20th through the 23rd, 2026 at the LAX Hilton. Speakers, event, and schedule easy. Just visit ConsciousLifeExpo.com. I will be hosting and speaking at the Sedona Ascension Retreat, March 20th through the 22nd, 2026 in Sedona, Arizona. An amazing list of speakers, and it's beautiful Sedona. Come and hang out with us and just go to SedonaAscensionRetreats.com. I'm heading back to Midwest for the Contact Modalities Expo, May 1st through the 3rd, 2026, in Delavan, Wisconsin, at the Lake Resort. It is beautiful. This is a great conference right in the heart of the Midwest, where I'm from. I'll see you there. Just go to Contact Modalities Expo, that's XPO.com. I will be hosting and presenting once again at Contact in the Desert. That's May 28th through June 1st, 2026, the largest UFO conference in the world. Come and hang out with us June 23rd through July 1st. Ticket, everything else that you need is at contactinthedesert.com. Want to change your life? Want that paradigm shift? Then visit Peru with Brian Forrester and myself for the Inca Celebration of the Sun, June 23rd through July 1st, 2026. A full 10 days of visiting the country, all of the amazing sights, and of course, the celebration of the winter solstice. It's all simple to do. Go to hiddenincatours.com. Come join us for the Monty Python Scotland Tour, August 1st through the 9th, 2026. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event where you get to go to the castles from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. August 1st through the 9th, 2026. Just visit HaleyARamsey.com. Watch Into the Vortex on Gaia TV. It's fade to black for the screen. Simple to do. Go to Gaia.com, search Jimmy Church, or click on the link below. Follow Fade to Black on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Get all of the show updates every single day. It's now called X, but who cares? Go to jimmychurchradio.com and become a Fadernaut. Get a membership. That's right. Everything is commercial free. You have access to downloads, and you get to call yourself a Fadernaut.
Jimmy Church, Gaia TV, Fade to Black, here at Machu Picchu with Brian Forster and Hidden Inca Tours. Amazing tour so far, Brian, but we're here to announce what we're going to do next year in 2026. What's going on?
Okay, November 2026, we're going to have our major tour of Peru and Bolivia, either a pre or post tour of Paracas and Nazca on the coast. And then after that, 6 days Easter Island.
Bucket list, Easter Island. Come join Brian and I and his amazing team here at Hidden Inca Tours for Peru, Bolivia, and Easter Island. Signing out. Say goodbye, Brian.
Bye, gang.
River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Truly the best coffee on planet Earth. Just visit rivermoonwellness.com or their Amazon store. It's all simple to do. You can check out the Fade to Black blend, the Game Changer blend, or any of their Black Moon wellness products. It's the only coffee I drink. It is the best, and it's Doc. Again, rivermoonwellness.com.
All right. Welcome back, Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. Tonight, Jason Quitt is here for Quittspiracy 14. We go through a bunch of conspiracy theories and ideas, and we rate them 1 pipe, 2 pipes, 3 pipes, 4. And then you rate them in our live chat. So head over to the live chat and get involved. Also, Jason, in the live chat is your next door neighbor, Holly Hall. She is actually in the chat. Are you in the chat tonight, Jason?
No, because I have all these screens open.
Okay.
But
all right. Well, she's here. She's your neighbor. And,
nice to meet you.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing. And you know, everybody in Toronto knows all Canadians.
Well, you know, I'm not really in Toronto anymore. I'm more of a Barryite. She'll understand what that means.
A Barry. What the F is a Barryite?
She'll get it. She'll know.
Okay. Man, I so want to jump on that and find out what a Barryite is, but we'll let that go. Okay, 1 pipe, 2 pipes, 3 pipes, 4. You know how to rate. I did the last one, Jason. It's on you. What are we doing next? Are we going in order?
Yes. And you know what? I've been really feeling this kind of like historical, archaeological type conspiracies these days. So this is like the route we're taking with this show tonight. Or yeah. So you can go ahead.
Yeah, I do like that. Well, okay, so we'll do number 3. I love conspiracies. I love the woo. I love experiencing things. You and I have experienced so many things together over the years, and it's so much fun to do that. And there's the other part of me where I'm like a closet historian. You know, I don't have a degree in history or world history or ancient history or any of those things, the geopolitical things, historical stuff. I don't, but I'm fascinated with it. And the more that I study history, and I mean, I do the deep dive into these subjects. I really go to both sides when I do this research. And I got to tell you, the more I jump into the official storyline of history and ancient history, I see nothing but conspiracy and lies and cover-ups the whole way through. It's just as fascinating as the UFO subject for me is history, including this next one, which is the conspiracy of the missing 500 million pounds of Michigan copper. This conspiracy, Jason, I'll hand it off to you, but the copper's missing at a time in history where copper was the most important resource on planet Earth. And we can trace copper's origins to its source. And we're doing just that with the Michigan copper. What's the conspiracy?
So has there and is there a cover up to protect the official narrative that Columbus discovered the New World?
4 pipes.
Yeah, we're in 4 pipe territory.
Let's 4 pipe that out of the gate. Just 4 pipe this thing. And, then let's hear the facts.
But here's the thing is that, this is a conspiracy that I don't know how many people in the chat have ever heard of this conspiracy. Like, this is some pretty hidden stuff, because if you start to unwind this little nugget here, this little copper nugget, it's like we can't look at the world the same at all. And this was brought to my attention by a friend, Ricardo from Portugal. All right. So he has the Institute for Natural Philosophies, and he brought this to my attention, this is such a crazy, crazy story. So think about that. Just think about it for a second. What is 500 million pounds of Michigan copper look like? Now, Michigan copper is extremely special because it's pretty much the purest copper on the face of the planet.
It's the purest copper. It's the easiest to identify.
Yes, and there's trace elements in the copper that only come from Michigan. 99.5% to 99.9% pure copper ore right from the ground. This is crazy. And what's even more crazy is that when they date the site, so think about this, you have the native community in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan State, which is right at the shore of Lake Superior. Now, Lake Superior, the shore of Lake Superior is extremely important. That's where orolite comes from. It's a very important place for geological history on the planet. There's so much minerals and metals in Lake Superior Peninsula there, going from Thunder Bay, Ontario, down the peninsula to Michigan. It's all the same area. They have tons of nickel, tons of silver, tons of quartz, crystal, amethyst, orolite 23. This is a very, very special area in the world. So what age were these mines? How, there's 500 million pounds of copper missing. When did they take it out of the earth?
When?
Well, 5,000 BC.
Okay. If I believe it to be true, okay, but if that is true, then everything we have been taught is a lie.
Pretty much.
Everything.
And just a simple search online, they know that there's been mining activity there between 5,000 BC and 1200 BC. It was nonstop mining.
At 5,000 BC, that's a full 2,500 years, 3,000 years, pushing into 3,500 years before the Bronze Age.
Yeah.
So what are you mining copper for before the Bronze Age? And bronze being, copper that's modified to harden it, right? So, but That doesn't make any sense. That would truly rewrite all of history.
So the whole mystery in question is, where did £500 million go? Where did it go? And we've only found less than 1% in North America, South America, Central America. We've found less than 1% of 500 million pounds of copper.
So how many boats from the Mediterranean, right? How many boats from the Mediterranean, from Egypt, right? From Israel, right?
Yeah.
The Phoenicians showed up in Lake Superior and started bringing this stuff back to the Mediterranean before there were boats, right?
Yes.
This changes everything.
Changes everything. And if you ask archaeologists today, they just give a very simple answer that, oh, it was just, traded out to local tribes across North America. That's the answer. But none has ever been recovered, except for a very, very, almost nothing has been recovered. So here's evidence here. So this is like some crazy evidence. There's a shipwreck in the Eastern Mediterranean, and it's called Ulo Buran. It's called the Ulo Buran shipwreck. And the shipwreck went down around 1300 BC. All right. Now, on this ship, they discovered 10 tons of copper. 10 tons of copper in the Mediterranean, 1300 BC. Now, when they analyzed this copper, they realized that it was very rare copper for anything that was in that area. Because, there are mines of copper all over the place, especially in the old world. But nothing like, and not the amount that you find in Michigan. So when they analyzed this copper they found in this shipwreck, it was 99.5 to 99.9% pure copper, which is a signature of Michigan. But there's more. In this copper, there's a trace element of mercury isotope, which only comes from Michigan. All right. So when you put it through a what do they call it? The spectral analyzer. The isotopic signatures, they line up and match to the Michigan copper. Okay, this is 1300 BC. So how is 10 tons of Michigan copper found on these shipwrecks in the Mediterranean? Unless
3,000 years before Columbus.
3,000 years before Columbus. All right, so that is just crazy. And what's also crazy is that the copper they find throughout the old world is so plentiful, which fueled the Bronze Age. It fueled the Bronze Age in all over Europe and Africa and like everywhere, Middle East. Now, they did have mines, but those mines, if you were to mine them, would not account for all the copper that was used in the Bronze Age. So you have two mysteries. You have mysteries in the New World, where you have 500 million pounds missing, and then you have the mystery of where did all the copper come from in the Bronze Age in the Old World. So you have these two weird things, but they don't. Nobody looks at the correlation here and says, "Wait a second, maybe they were traveling." So this is really crazy. Now, since we were talking about Göbekli Tepe, some huge discovery happened at another site near Göbekli Tepe. It's called, I hope I say this right, Gri Fila. Okay, this is a site in Turkey, and this site goes back to 8,000 BC. Now, this is crazy because this changes history, and it's provable. It changes history right now. Just happened this year. They dug up copper artifacts in this site that date back to 8,000 BC. Copper artifacts. And it's not just copper that they just hammered. It was smelted copper. They made jewelry. They made tools. They made everything. They smelted copper 8,000 BC.
Okay. The same thing. And this is what's crazy. I don't understand the pushback and denial of these amazing facts. The same thing was discovered in Karahunch in Armenia. And Karahunj in Armenia is a stone astronomical circle observatory in the mountains of Armenia that again dates to around 8,000 BC, 4,000, almost 5,000 years before Stonehenge. And it's an incredible site. All right, it is. And the pillars have holes in it. So you can line up at one pillar and look through the hole to the other hole on the other pillar and have an astronomical alignment. That's crazy in 8,000 BC. And these are facts. But that's not the crazy part. There is a wall, an ancient wall that is next to it that has copper faces in the wall. And so when you look at and other stuff that has been dug up there, copper tools, copper jewelry, these copper faces, 5,000 years before the Bronze Age. So who is smelting the copper? And if you go back, how is that done? If we are sticking to our guns here, when the Bronze Age happened, when the Iron Age happened, the Stone Age is named stone for a reason. You look at these different ages going through, well, we have a specific part of the Bronze Age, which is the smelting of copper, turning it into bronze, which is a big deal for us and a turning point in history. But if you back up to 5,000 BC in Michigan with 500 million pounds of missing copper, who is smelting that before there was officially smelting? So either we're being lied to, right? And when you look at these other sites, the site in Turkey, which is amazing, and you look at Karahunj in Armenia, it doesn't make any sense. There is a bronze dagger in Venice, Italy, that was gifted to the church, the monastery in Venice from Armenia. Okay, it's a dagger. It's beautiful, by the way. You should see it. It's incredible. Are you ready? It's 9,000 years old. Right? And nobody wants to talk about it. Talk about the meteorite, King Tut, and they bring up all of these facts. Wait a minute. How is it possible? And it's gorgeous, man. It's perfect, and it was gifted. But nobody talks about that because it just goes against the grain of everything that we have been taught, and it upsets history. And what if that's Michigan gold or Michigan copper?
Yeah. And with today's tools, we could find out. The issue is nobody wants to look. Nobody wants to know. You know? Yeah. Bill just posted. I haven't checked the link. He's got copper, bronze, iron age timeline. Man, I'm actually okay. Hold on for a second. Well,
Bill, I'm gonna tap into that. Go ahead.
Just from the top of my head, I know like the official date that they teach you in school is 5,000 BC. The first smelting was found in Serbia, is what the official thing says. But now we're talking about 3,000 to 4,000 years before that. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, so he's saying here, Copper Age began around 5,000 BCE, followed by the Bronze Age, 3,300 BCE, and the Iron Age around 1,200 BCE. And that is according to, how do I want to say this? That's according to the AI in Google. And let's see here, 3H system. Let's see if I can dip into something a little more official here than AI. And I'm not going to spend any more time on this because we've got other stuff to cover. Okay, so that was you. Oh, I'm going 4 pipes on that.
Yeah, same.
I'm going 4 pipes. I'm going 4 pipes. 4 pipes. Okay, I am going to do. Okay, you know what? Man, I've got all good stuff here. Which one do I do? Okay. All right. I'm going to go. Let's do, man, I want to do number 1 and I kind of want to do number 2. I really want to do number 3. Let's go with number 3. Let's just
Okay.
piss everybody off.
Yeah, this is definitely a piss off conspiracy. But let's talk about it. So, do vaccines cause autism, which is an issue that has been talked about, I think, for years. I remember, Jenny McCarthy coming out talking about that live. So this is a hot button issue that's been around for a while, but now that RFK Jr. is in office, it's mainstream now.
When we look at so many different sides of this, but this is where I started off at the beginning of the show talking about how conspiracies have become mainstream and people hear whatever idea is laid out there and so many jump on it without looking at it or considering it, but because somebody says it, then it must be true and that's it. They don't look into any of it. And that is a big problem today. There isn't any objectivity, any research or anything looking into this, where vaccines causing autism has been widely debunked by the medical professionals out there, that there is no scientific basis for this claim that the vaccines are linked to autism in any way. So you have that side, but nobody wants to listen to that. They will only consider what somebody says. And in this case, it happens to be somebody with Kennedy tied to their genealogy, and that's thrown in there. And I get that, and I fully understand it. I don't know what side of the fence I fall on with this conspiracy, because autism itself, I have autistic family members. Okay. All right. I do, kids. And my heart just pours out. And I look into this. Now, has autism always been around and we didn't consider it or talk about it? We used to, this is a shameful part of human history, but anything that had any children that had issues with it largely were, put into homes, were sent away, were put in special schools, and were taken out of the mainstream. We're not, graduating from college or going to school or going into the job market or, a functional part of society. We operated that way for thousands of years. This isn't anything new. So that is my question when I look at this. Has autism always been around, but we chose to, because we're the pigs that we are as a human race, to ignore it and turn a blind eye to it? Has it always been there, way before there was a thing called a vaccine? I don't know. And these facts are just hidden from us. There's no way to get to it, Jason. And so when I look, there's that part of the conspiracy that maybe it is true. Maybe autism and the rise of autism, the way I've seen all the movies and I've had those people on the show talking about these facts, going into this, the MMR vaccine and everything else, and the rise of autism, that is apparently, it's like the Richter scale, right? It's multiplying. It is, it's gotten to be huge numbers. The timing of that and vaccines is strange to me. It's strange. It's where I just step back and go, is there something more to this? What part of this is true and what are we being lied to about? And that's my case with this. I don't know. If I look at the medical community, do I trust it? I trust science to a degree. I do. I do. There are people that are much smarter than I am. Then there's the timing of it and the apparent facts that back this up. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know which way to go on this. So if you were going to rate this with pipes, where are you?
Well, I'll just say that science is always changing, and there's things in the past that we've been sold as safe and effective, and it turns out later it's not. So there's always new science that will come out with this. I think Dr. McCullough, who's has written many papers. I think he just released a new paper that took all the science from all over the world that has studied this and put it into one big study. He just released it like a day or two ago, from what I heard. I haven't read it, but I heard somebody speaking about it. And I think what the conclusions that they came up with is that it's kind of like a symbiotic thing where it could be many different conditions, and then the vaccine adds to that. So not the vaccine will not cause autism in people in large numbers, but right now people with different things, let's say like metals in their body or like a genetic predisposition, maybe that is just compiling all these things together is kind of like this toxic soup. So it's not just the vaccine, it's the combination of many different things. And I think that's a pragmatic approach to kind of look at this. And so it's not really blaming, but, I think the statistic is once they introduced more and more and more vaccines at earlier and earlier ages, the statistics started to change. And this is why, they were measuring it at, let's say, like 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 1,000 when you were a child. And now it's measured, I think it's like 1 out of every 36, and it's still climbing. So there is a change that's happening, and we just have to kind of be pragmatic and see, like, why is this happening? So if I was to give it pipes, it's a tough one to do. I would definitely give it a 2 pipe for sure, which it is a plausible connection.
Yeah, and then I look at the other side. I'm kind of like in the 2 pipe range here too as well. I need more facts and things to help determine this. But this is where I kind of trip out a little bit. I, just like everybody else in my generation, we got vaccines in school all the time. Okay. All right. You show up for class, like, okay, everybody head to the cafeteria, and you roll it. You didn't ask questions. You didn't have a parental sign to no, you just got in line and right. It's like, and you got your vaccines. And so do my parents. Okay. My daughter is fine. I'm certainly fine. I don't know. I haven't had any blood work done lately, but and let's not forget about things like polio and the measles and things that were eradicated in this country from vaccines. Now, before you send me email or people make negative comments about, you need to be very pragmatic in understanding what I'm saying and your approach to all of this. All right. Polio was insane. It was insane. Measles, insane. And those were eradicated. Right. And that was due to vaccines and other stuff. So there's that side of it where I'm just trying to be reasonable here and speaking about my own experience and not basing my decisions on the social media bubble of influence of people talking shit. I don't work that way, but I do look a lot at data, and the data, the 1 in 36 number and climbing is crazy. I remember seeing a chart from a friend of mine's movie. It's like in 10 years, it's going to be 1 and 2, right? 1 and 2 children being born. Now, and this is the other part. I'm a little confused, and there are people out there that will present both sides of this. Children are born with autism. It's not like, if I'm understanding this correctly, they're born without autism, they get a vaccine and then they get autism, or is it because their parents were vaccinated and then are passing on this genetic anomaly to their children and they're born with autism? That's a very confusing aspect to this for me. I don't really get it, how the MMR, which happens after birth, right? I don't want to speak specifically about my family. I don't want to get into that, but the children that I know from my family that were born autistic, nonverbal autistic, it was before they got the MMR, so I don't know. I'm like two pipes. I need more data. I need more facts. I just don't know which way to go on this. I don't.
Yeah. It's always a double-edged sword, and that's what science is, and we're always learning and growing from it. So I wouldn't throw everything out. And like you said, we have a very strong history of science that's got us this far. But we can't be afraid, and I think this is where the world is right now, is we are afraid to ask questions. The whole thing with science is we can't be afraid to ask these questions. We can't be afraid to look into it, because if we do, then how many years are going to go by without fixing a problem? Maybe it's a very, very simple thing. Maybe, there's an ingredient that shouldn't be in there. If you just switch that one ingredient, suddenly everything's fine. Like, it takes somebody to say, wait a second, there's something not right here, to find a solution that's better for everybody.
Yeah. Man, I almost want to go into COVID. Okay. You're up next. What's yours?
All right, let's get into even crazier conspiracy with archaeology.
Okay. Now, so you want to go with number 4?
Yes. And I'll just put this out there because I has the ancient timeline of human habitation in the Americas been deliberately suppressed to maintain the mainstream narrative of the Bering Land Bridge and migration near the end of the last ice age? So
four pipes. I mean, there's so much evidence right now that contradicts all of that, which when you're a kid sounds good. You look at the Bering Land Bridge and you look at Russia and you're picturing people, crossing it and coming into. Okay, it's a cute story, and probably some of that did happen. Yeah, for sure. There was stuff when they uncovered the mammoth in San Diego a few years ago that had bite marks on the bones, dating 250,000 years ago, 150,000 years ago. I think that kind of negates, right? Any Bering Land Bridge consideration of the population increase here in the Americas.
I never heard that one. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. So what we have here is Huayatlaco in Mexico. Did they cover up human artifacts dating back between 250,000 and 800,000 years ago? What's going on here?
Yeah, and very, very little people know about this. And I have to give a shout out to Incredible Histories on YouTube and Twitter, because he's the one who brought it to my attention. And this story is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. All right, so there's this site in Mexico that they're finding these artifacts carved into bones. And in 1961 to 1966, very famous archaeologist named Cynthia Williams.
She's great, by the way. She's amazing.
She went down there and she started to excavate these layers, because archaeology, you got to go through these different layers to find artifacts. And she did. She discovered a lot of different artifacts in sediments, including stone tools. And these are found by next to megafauna, like mammoth bones, like you were talking about. So they're finding stone tools, cutting marks. They're finding all these things in these layers. And they keep digging deeper and deeper into these layers. And she keeps uncovering older and older artifacts. All right. So at the time, we're talking no carbon dating. So at the time, they're testing it using volcanic sediment that's near these layers.
Ruined her career.
Yes. But here's the crazy part about this is using, this is back in the 60s, using her dating methods at the time, they found that these artifacts were 20 to 25,000 years old. Now, at the time, these dates were extremely controversial because 20 to 25,000 years was like, this goes against the Barren Land Bridge, it goes against Clovis First, it goes against all these things that are being taught at that time, which is like mainstream archaeology, right? So that's great. So 20 to 25,000 years, all right? So now we go into the 70s, you have other people that are curious and they go and they recheck the sediments in that area. Okay. And they test them, they do blind studies, they send them to people that don't know anything. They're just like, okay, can you now date this? And when they came back in the 70s, it was a very different answer. Instead of it being 20 to 25,000 years old, those artifacts came back 250,000 to 800,000 years old.
She was told to stop digging.
She wasn't told to stop digging. Police came with machine guns.
Yes.
And
That's it's an unbelievable story. And it wasn't just there. She did this a lot. And it got to the point where in North America and Central America, but in North America specifically, you can only dig so far down. You couldn't go deep. They didn't want to know what was down there. They didn't want to hear it. It was, you know what I mean? It was just like, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts.
I've heard stories here in Canada as well, where basically you're digging. And once you get to the certain level, which is, right at the end of the last ice age, they basically say you don't have to dig any further because you're not going to find anything.
That's right.
So there's no point, no funding, no nothing.
They wouldn't fund it. It is a crazy dark part of archaeology in Central and North America because of what they were finding. And when you consider, okay, so I already said 4 pipes. When we consider something like this, covering up human history, and in this case, with archaeology, where we're now tipping back things so far before humans were humans, right? According to the dogma, 200,000 years. That is really tipping things over. But if there is something to cover up, that would be cover up. So that would be covered up. So I'm going to go straight out. I'm going to go 4 pipes on this story. Solid 4 pipes.
Yep. And what really is telling about this whole thing is the government, the Smithsonian, the police taking control of the site. You can't dig here anymore. You got to stop. Get out of here. It was already bad enough saying 20 to 25,000 years, but 300,000 years before, out of Africa theory, like, no, not happening.
Right. There's another part of this too that I just find fascinating, and it lines up, is pretty much anywhere you go in the world, you go up into the mountains, you will find a sediment layer that contains seashells, fish fossils, right? At 10,000 feet, right? 15,000 feet. And I've seen it personally, been there, seen it. And when you back up and you're at a point in these mountains where you're at that altitude and you think about water being that deep, right? Okay, now what do we consider? Where did the water come from? First off, Where did it come from? And where did it go? All right, there's that part. The next part is there something to the flood myth stories? Is there something actually like factual? Not God, not Noah. Let's just talk about a whole heck of a lot of water at one point doing something like that. Mainstream archaeology and historians, they don't want to consider any of this. No, man, the mountains were low and they were down here and then they pushed up and that's how the seashells got there. Bullshit. That's not, no, I'm not buying into that. Let's consider something else. And that goes right into what we're talking about right here, that there was something else happening a very, very long time ago, and they just want this covered up.
Yep. Now, I just want to like add to this story.
Are you going?
Oh, I'm going 4 pipes for sure. And the reason why is, well, just because of what they found, but also near where I live, about 8 hours from where I live, there's a archaeological site called in Manitoulin Island. And there was a very famous archaeologist named Thomas E. Lee, top of his game. And he went up there and he found this archaeological site. And he starts going through the layers, digging. And he starts finding these shells and artifacts and all these things really deep. And when he calculates the layers, he puts that these artifacts that he found up in Canada to be between 125,000 to 150,000 years.
That's crazy.
Now,
I totally believe it, though. That's the thing.
He lost everything.
Oh, they always do.
Everything.
The dude or dudette that discovers a frozen city in Antarctica will be homeless in 6 months. I mean, just will be, the career is over. Okay, in the time that we have left, and that's such a good one. Okay, let me see. Do I just rock this thing? Do I just tip this show over, or do I stay soft? Do I stay soft? All right. Let's go.
Okay.
Number one.
There you go.
Number one.
And this is a great one, which is the legend of Bigfoot. And are we purposefully told that this is a mythological thing that doesn't exist, or is it a real creature that we're not supposed to know about?
Now, you said a key word there, legend, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at the definition of legend or legendary, all right, that is something that didn't happen, but it's a good story, so we consider it as fun, and we dabble in it being truthful because it's fun. All right, the legend of King Arthur, right? Whatever. This is the thing. The conspiracy of Bigfoot, right? Is it being covered up? The scientific community, the hardcore scientific community, says it's all bullshit. It's all made up. It's all hearsay. It's counterfeited footprints. It's there is no DNA. There is no corpses. There's no bodies. There's none of this. That Bigfoot is just fuzzy. All of the pictures and images of Bigfoot and all the film. Obviously, they haven't seen the Patterson-Gimlin film, but that is the scientific side of this. And then on the other side of this, we have so many sightings, so many things that have happened. You and I went through a crazy experience together when it comes to Bigfoot. And leading up to that, and for those of you that don't know, looks like we're going to go into overtime here, Jason. I hope you don't mind. And I know that you've got a lot of stuff that you're doing right now, but it'll just be a few minutes.
That's fine. I'm good.
Okay, good. Monica's not knocking on the door. Is she in bed?
She probably watching TV.
Okay, she's watching TV.
Yeah.
Man, I miss Monica, man. I need my Monica fix. When do I get my Monica fix?
I don't know.
Man,
but maybe we'll FaceTime.
I love it. She is my sister. I love her so much. I hope she's listening right now and laughing. I love her so much. And she is just I need my Monica fix. We got to get that. We got to get that going. We got to get that going. But here's the other part of this. You and I, at a point in my life where I am on the fence about Bigfoot, I don't really have a consideration either way. I'm just waiting for evidence. I haven't had a Bigfoot sighting. I've had so many UFO experiences that, my mind's made up on that. I've dealt with the facts on that. I haven't had that with Bigfoot until what happened to you and I one day. And that was a pretty crazy experience, which was some friends of ours, their children discovered a Bigfoot print in the middle of this field, and they dragged me out there to look at it. I thought it was bullshit. I didn't want to go. I was eating a sandwich when they came up to me, right? And I was like, dude, just let me eat my sandwich, man. Go play in the field. No, Jimmy. And I look out there, and the three of them, there was four boys. The three of them are standing out in the field looking at me. And I had to go. I had to go out there. So I walk out and I look down. It's a friggin' 2-foot footprint in the middle of this field in the hard packed dirt with toes and everything else. So I get on the phone. You're there filming a documentary, right? Mm-hmm. So you got your cameras and all your stuff, and you come out and we start filming this, and we went through this experience together. We ended up finding 4 prints, and that was a game changer for me. So when you consider Bigfoot, let's talk about that moment where you and I are looking down. Remember when we measured it? Remember we took the dollar bills? Remember when we tried to do the steps between and what were they?
It was about 6.5 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
6.5 feet.
What was going through your mind? I lost my mind, by the way. I completely freaked out.
In my mind is like, there's got to be people like hoaxing us for sure, because this is the place to hoax us, right? And like I saw when I came into the site originally, there was a group of people, in the forest, and we're like, what are these people doing in the forest? So we went over there, and they were showing that they found other prints in the forest. So this is right when we got there. So, okay, there's some activity, and this place is known for activity.
Well, that's where we did that. We did the cast of that print, right?
Yes.
The one in the forest. Right.
Yes.
I remember that.
Now,
okay, go ahead.
Now, what got me, and this is like the only way that I was convinced, is you said it had 4 steps, right? It did. We tried to trace it. Well, like, where did this thing go?
At the time, when you first stepped up, there was only 1 print.
Yes.
You remember? And you and I, we got a crowd around us. I mean, we had to back everybody. We were like, man, right? We're tainting the evidence, right? Yeah. We're contaminating the area. And we had to back everybody. And then I don't know if it was you or me or somebody else that said, hey, there's got to be more prints.
Yeah.
So we backed up. We started looking. That's when we found the other 3. It wasn't like we had 4 in front of us. We only had the 1. And then suddenly we find 4 prints. Man.
Now, okay. 4 prints. And the gate is about 6.5 feet between the steps. That's why we didn't see them originally, because they're so far apart, and they were deep. They were like maybe 1/2 inch or 1 inch into the ground. So it had to be a very heavy animal, 500 to 800 pounds easily. Now, what got me was the 4th print, because it wasn't a print. All right. The 4th print was just like 3 toes, like dug in.
That's right.
So it wasn't like a flat. It was 3 toes dug in, picking up the soil.
First 2 prints were solid prints, turning to the right, and the last 2 prints were half prints.
Yeah. So it's almost like it was almost like it popped into existence, took a couple steps, and then jumped out of existence. Like
we looked all the way behind, because we could see the direction of the prints. Right. Yeah. Okay. So we backed up, we got the art, and we had 30, 40, 50 people out there looking, right? And we were all looking for more. We never found any prints before the first print, which was the deepest and the biggest and the clearest.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
like
brought up a really good point, Jason. I don't want to let this go. I am a fat, out of shape, white dude standing there, not making a dent in this dirt. Okay.
And you were, we have film of you jumping up and down.
Try. And so you look at this and whatever, let's say it was hoaxed. Okay. Let's say it was hoaxed. Okay. Who put on the Bigfoot boot and how did they press it into this dirt that far?
They'd have to like sledgehammer it into
or
the
they would
dirt.
have to be 9 feet tall and 900 pounds wearing fake Bigfoot shoe, right? That's the thing. I don't know how it was faked. If it was mud, this is a dirt field, everybody. This is just a hard packed dirt field with fresh grass pushed in to this hard packed dirt into these footprints. And the first one, dude, the arch was there. Remember that? The toes, the heel, that it was perfect. Yeah. God, man, it was trippy to see. It was really trippy. What do you, okay, so on Bigfoot, let's just go right now. The Bigfoot story, are we being imaginative? Are we making it all up, or is Bigfoot a species that is a real thing? And I'm saying Bigfoot is real, and I'm not questioning any of this. And I'm going for pipes. I used to be 2 pipes for many years, as you know. I'm 4 pipes. I think there's just too much evidence out there. Where are you?
I think that there's a long history across the entire world of these sightings. So it's a phenomenon that's always been here with us. And after our experiences, and there's more personal experiences that we haven't talked about. So I would give it today 4 pipes. And I just wanted to say I heard a very strange story up in Canada, because there's a lot of Canadian Sasquatch, supposedly, that there are like almost like black projects, military, that kind of monitor the Bigfoot situation in these parks. So when there's like activity, they come in and they try to like get them out. I heard that from somebody. I can't say like if that's true or not, but that's a very interesting story.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing, that there is a Men in Black Bigfoot squad, that will go in, and if there is a body discovered, forest fire, right? Something happens, that they go in and spirit the body away and take it out, and it's undercover and it stays under wraps. That all of the federal employees know what to do and know who to call, and I don't dispute any of that. It's hard for me to say that is not true. I just don't feel it.
I have too many stories growing up in Canada. I have way too many stories, good campfire stories. Right, I don't know how much I could say with the time we have left, but going camping and literally getting woken up in the middle of the night to like the scariest screams you'll ever hear, like, or we just pass it off as bears, because obviously when you camp, there's bears up here. But there was a story when I was a teenager. Me and my friends, we go camping every summer. It was just a tradition. We always go camping deep in the forest, and we we're teenagers. There's obviously a lot of drinking and other things, and so we had this big fire going, and we all just, at the end of the night, you got to pour water, you got to get everything out. So we wake up in the middle of the night, and we're all afraid because we're hearing this thing walking around. And we look out of our tent, and the fire is full. Fire's full. We took that fire out. That fire was blazing again in the middle of the night. And this big thing just walked between the tent, and we were just all like stone cold, like not moving, like what's going on here? And we just passed it off as, oh, it's just a bear. But that was a scary night.
I saw a video today. Extraordinary. It's gone semi-viral. You can look at it. It's pretty crazy. Of up in Alaska, there is. I don't want to get into the full story, but there's an invasive crab species that is going crazy up there. So they're doing stuff to circumvent this and so forth. So anyway, the wildlife personnel, they're doing this thing, and they've got these crab traps, and they're set, and they have crab bait to trap these invasive crabs. I think they're called green crabs or something. They eat everything, right, in their path. So anyway, they're trying to trap these crabs. A female wolf. Now, these crab traps are out and submerged in the water. There is a buoy above. It's a little orange buoy, right? It's the size of a cup. It's a can floating, marking where the crab trap is. And there's a line tied to the buoy. All right. This frigging wolf swims out, grabs the line, swims back to shore, and pulls the whole crab trap. She's backing up. She's got the line in her mouth, pulls the crab trap to shore, and then goes up to the buoy that has the bait in it and gets that line, pulls that in, gets the bait cup, chews it, and eats the bait, which is herring. Now, stop and just contemplate what I just said. That is an evolution of a species going to the next level. Whether she is off in the forest, watching them put the traps out and going, oh, okay, so if I swim out there, and I could, I get it. And and then I could. Now, is that crazy? That's a mechanical, methodical plan put into place in this wolf's head. Okay, maybe it's that. Maybe it's something, I don't know. But the facts are this friggin' wolf swam out and pulled a crab trap to shore and ate the bait. Pulling the line. It's like the craziest thing. So to think that a species can't evolve and take things to the next level, this wolf was not, what's the word I want to use? This wolf wasn't playing, right? Wasn't goofing around, having fun, jumping into the water and swimming out and finding something. No, this was a plan of action.
Oh, yeah.
Using tools. Man. Crazy, just crazy. So the thought of Bigfoot coming to your campsite, reigniting the fire. Bear. How many bears have you seen now opening up the front door of a house? Just bloop,
yeah.
Right? Opening up a car door. It's just, got a clothes hanger. It's crazy, man.
They actually say they've observed monkeys evolving now, which is crazy. They're doing fashion. They're putting I don't know how to say this politely.
Oralite necklaces?
No, they're taking grass and ornamentally sticking it up their bums and walking around.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's becoming a fad.
They've been doing that in West Hollywood for a long time.
It's not a joke.
The monkeys picked it up. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Have you been to West Hollywood?
No, I don't think so.
Man, they do stuff with blades of grass there that it's just amazing, the talent that goes down. But I have just recently in India. All right. You ready?
Sure.
A monkey was the lead and sole witness at a murder trial.
That's
right.
That's bananas.
That is bananas.
Yeah.
That is bananas. Jason, another great show, man. We used to do this nearly once a month. We just got to keep this up. It is just so much fun, and And the Fadernauts love it, and it just causes us to not only do the rabbit hole thing, but just to contemplate and to think and to just enjoy this crazy planet, that we live on. And I just dig it so much. You're the absolute very best. The Crystal Sun, that's where everybody should go.
Yes, and crystalsun.com, thecrystalsun.com, and you can also find all my books on Amazon. And you can find me on social media, X, Jason_Quitt, and Facebook and Instagram.
You're the absolute best, my man.
Thank you.
And by the way, Jason didn't reach out for me to write the foreword to his new book. I'm throwing him under the bus right now. I see the new book come out. I'm like, did I miss the email? Did he ask me to write the foreword to the book? Did he ask me to comment? Did he want me to read it? Did he need my input? And maybe you know what? I probably didn't read the email.
Well, no, well, it's the mine. So I'm working with the mine. So it's almost like
don't sugarcoat this. don't no man. No man. I love you. Give my best to Monica.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in on Thanksgiving week. What are you doing this week? Aren't you busy doing others? You want to talk about it? You want to promote it?
Well, there's nothing to promote. Like I've been working with Japan for before I even met you. So
yeah, that's right. No, when I met you, you were in a kimono. You were in a Japanese fashion dress. and you had white face. You remember that? You had
No, my face is white. I don't have white face. All right?
But when I met you, this is the truth. Jason had, so I go up to Jason and I go, what the hell are you wearing? and Jason first off, Jason is 6'8", right? He's 6'8". He backs up and he goes, I had this made in Japan. I'm like, dude, take that off. Or are you really going to wear it on stage? I'm going to wear this on stage. I said, do you still have that outfit?
No, I've worn it so much it's dissolved. Like it's done.
When I met you, you were wearing custom-made Japanese fashion.
Yes, made out of very specific cotton from Japan. And no, it was like I was trying to tell you, it's like the most comfortable thing you could ever wear.
Oh, you can tell. Absolutely. Yeah. That wearing that outfit is a hall pass to wearing pajamas all day long.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is. And I know the reason I had that is I just got back from Japan and I had it and I was doing a class where I was teaching like Qi Gong, where it was just like movements. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to just totally just wear this and go on stage and teach it.
We're doing like this UFO conference, this full-on Church of Woo conference, and you've got the whoo.
Yeah, that was. I think Jonocide might have been there.
Was Jonocide there?
I think he was there. 100%. He saw me at
Jonocide. Do you remember Jason's outfit? Hold on,
he's still there. 100% he was there.
Hold on. Come on, Jonocide. Were you there? I know we did a few things up there, and Jonocide was at one. So was Jonocide there when we found the footprints? Was he there
one of the times or multiple times? I don't remember exactly. I know he was there. I just don't remember which time. But yes.
I do not. I was at Soul Tech. So he was at the Bigfoot footprint sighting. He wasn't at the first one where you were in the Japanese.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's definitely different. Too bad. I mean, you missed it.
Hey, Jonocide, did you see the Bigfoot prints? Were you out there with Jason and I? Come on, Jonocide, quit wasting time. Jessica says he said yes. No, Jonocide, did you see the Bigfoot prints? Come on, Jonocide.
Yes.
Yes, he saw the Bigfoot prints. All right, so Jonocide, confirm, please, Jason and I's bullshit story about this. It's not. We are not exaggerating, are we? It was absolutely nuts. Come on, Genocide. Just say it was absolutely nuts. 4 pipes. Come on, Genocide. We got to close the show. I want you to close the show. One of these days, I'm going to get all of my mods on camera, and we're going to do a show
Good idea.
together. Bro, it was nuts. Oh, man, hold on. Let's get this up there. Man, I had the best time with Genocide sitting at the campfire, and somebody just said, "We believe you, Jimmy." We believe you, Jimmy. Oh man, but see, that's what's really great about these conspiracies and these things that we talk about. It's so awesome when you experience them together with friends, and we can sit here and talk about it. When you're by yourself and you have an experience, it's just blah 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 blah. It's jaw flapping. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's your crazy uncle telling some story that, it's whatever. But when you experience it with friends, it's so awesome. It is just so awesome. So anyway, enjoy your holiday. I hope that you have a good Thanksgiving. I'm going to do it with friends down here. It's going to be amazing. Just you and Monica. Be safe up there. Do you have snow yet?
No, but you scared me. I heard there was going to be a big storm coming too.
Yeah, so. Yeah. You got Toronto's supposed to get 30 inches by Sunday.
I just put gas in my snowblower, so I'm. You're
not joking about that.
Not joking. I put last week. I got the snowblower out just to run it, get the gas in it, make sure that it's working because I'm going to need it.
Oh well, you guys be safe and love you guys. Give my best to Monica.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, brother. Thank you so much. Jason Quitt, everybody. Perfect show. Quittspiracy 14. Thank you, Jason.
It's actually 15. They figured it out.
Oh, it's 15? Okay, so the next one will be 16. And we're going to do that like next month. We're just going to bring you straight back. I just have too much fun doing this, and so does everybody else.
Cool.
Good night, Jason. Good night, Monica. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon. And thank you so much. Jason Quitt, thecrystalsun.com. The links for that are below. Thank you, everybody. Tomorrow night, right here on Fade to Black, Stephen Bassett will be joining us. There's a new documentary that is out. It's a few years old, but it was just released. It is called The Age of Disclosure. And so we will be talking about that and so much more tomorrow night with Stephen Bassett. I am your host, Jimmy Church. With that, I'm out of here. Thank you for staying up late. And I'll talk to you in a minute. Beckley Tech. Fade to Black is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee Newman, and Michelle Freed. Special thanks to Bill, John, Dex, Jessica, Dennis, and Kevin. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music by Doug Aldrich. Intro, Space Boy. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2024 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network, Inc. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Go Beckley Tappy.